What's going on, guys? And I have an important announcement. As you guys have seen on Facebook, the War Cry Podcast now has a merch store through Redbubble. What you'll do is you'll hit that link below, select the logo that you like. You know, we got a wolf logo, we got that Bigfoot scratch or the Dogman scratch logo. Once you select the logo, you'll go down and hit your styles. If you want a t-shirt, if you want a sweatshirt, or if you want different things, or a sticker or whatever, you'll select the color of that, and then your size, and then you hit that checkout button. And hitting that checkout button and getting that t-shirt supports the podcast. And I appreciate everyone that listens, and it's amazing, and I do truly appreciate it. But with that said, let's get to the episode. So run me my music. It's very, very dangerous.
Get these spidey sense, I was like, oh, something's off.
And I'm just like, man, I'm waiting to hear something,
Keep that crowd warmed up. There's Mr. Jehovah Tiger.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another edition of the War Cry Podcast. I'm your host, Jehovah Tiger. It's been a while. It's been, what we say, like 15 days, 16 days? Anyways, so I've been a pretty busy guy over the last, dare I say, month, and I got a sad announcement for you guys. When life throws you apples, and you try to make apple juice, but you just can't squeeze hard enough, then you try to make lemonade. Lemons, that's crazy. You try to make lemonade, and with that being said, I wanted this first part to make no sense because the podcast is ending. Yep, it's over, guys. It's over. It truly is. No, I'm just messing with y'all. I got some of y'all. Some of y'all's heart just dropped right there. I got y'all. No, my announcement is, guys, I'm back in the 918. Currently back from Oklahoma City. I have moved back to the 918 in the Tulsa area, back to where I feel like I'm me. When I went to Oklahoma City, I went to discover some things about myself, and it sucks. Okay, Oklahoma City, this is why Tulsa's better. I'm going to go ahead and say, if you live in Oklahoma City and you hear this and you're like, no, it's not really that bad, I'm going to tell you why Tulsa is better than Oklahoma City. Let's just go ahead and hash this out now. Oklahoma City traffic is some of the most mind-numbing traffic I've encountered in my 30 years of life. It's super depressing to have to travel 5 miles and it take 20 minutes. Y'all are insane for that. Y'all try to add all these new highways, all these new interstates, all these turnpike lanes, and y'all are not doing it. It is not successful. It is becoming a cluster F in most cases. I've never seen so many wrecks in my entire life that has halted traffic to a standstill than I have in Oklahoma City. Now, Western Oklahoma City is pretty garbage. I'm going to be honest. There's a few suburbs out there that are, I'll give Mustang a little bit of credit. They decent. Yukon sucks. Like, it just does, guys. There's no food. There's like no good Mexican restaurants in that West Tulsa area. Or not West Tulsa, West Oklahoma City. And I hate to do y'all like that, but man, it was few and far between. One thing Tulsa is better than Oklahoma City because Tulsa actually has queso blanco that's actually good from Mexican restaurants. In my first week in Tulsa, I have probably inhaled about a pound of queso. So if you see me out and about here in Tulsa area, you just happen to run across me at Sam's, which I like Sam's. Sam's is good. If you see me out and about, you say, man, he gained some weight. That's because of I'm back. And I had to have me some queso, and I had a pound of it. And sometimes that equals out to like 6 pounds or 10, whatever the math is on that. But in Oklahoma City, the queso looks like if I blew my nose during the wintertime, and I look at the rag after I blew my nose, and it looks like snot, is what that queso looks like. I tried it from like 9 different Mexican restaurants in my year and a half. I'm calling living in Oklahoma City almost close to being in jail. Let's keep it 100. That's how worse Oklahoma City is to Tulsa. And like I said, this beef has been going on since the inception of both cities. When Tulsa became, or Oklahoma City, I'm sorry, Tulsa was the capital first. So when Oklahoma City became what they became, this beef has been going on. And living in Oklahoma City for that year and a half, doing my time, I stood on my time. But I don't know how y'all live in Oklahoma City. I'm just going to say it. But, Oklahoma City Thunder doing good this year. They made it to the second round of the playoffs. They swept. I don't even know who they play. Oh, the Pelicans. Shout out, them young guys out there who are my age. But yeah, the announcement is that the pod's not over. The pods will keep going. It's really busy trying to get this house right. We got a lot of, I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna say something that's kind of shisty, but I ain't gonna say it. But we had some things we got to work on with this house that sometimes things don't work out for the previous owners. But it is what it is. But other than that, like I said, guys, I cannot describe how much I've missed being here. I tried to take a better opportunity to get a less workload with what I was doing, and it didn't turn into that. It turned into a whole nother thing. And, sometimes things in life don't work out, but sometimes you got to know, you got to try to figure out a way to get back to where you're supposed to be. And I'm doing that. And, as my family's all happy that we're back, that I'm back. I think it's weird when you have family that was around all the time that's not. I know some of you guys have some family. I know some people who listen to this and they have shared that with me, that it is tough being away, especially being like, I ran into a lot of Comanche people and Cheyenne Arapaho, and I like to stop off, as I mentioned before, at the Sack and Fox Casino. I like to give back. Want to make sure that we, I see them on I-40 and I'm like, I might as well go ahead and say something. Just throw them a few dollars. Nothing crazy. Just something nice. Kickapoo too. Y'all got y'all's casino in Shawnee. It's nice. Those were nice. I enjoyed those. But ain't nothing stand the test of time than these casinos on the Muskogee Creek and Cherokee Nation reservations. They just hit different, y'all. There's something to it. There's something to the magic in the air. And I'm glad to be back home where I can look around and see a few Cherokee tags, see a lot of Muskogee Creek tags. I like it. It makes me feel like, yes. If I get into a road rage incident and it's with someone with a Muskogee Creek tag, I can, maybe we might have, we handle things differently. And it's crazy up there in Oklahoma City. I did a short stint with, I'm not going to say the organization's name, but in Midwest City. And that was a trip, man. It's crazy out here. But with that all being said, I had to throw y'all that little teaser. But like I said, guys, I'm happy to be back in. Well, I guess I'm on Muskogee Res, but I'm glad to be back where my people are, and I can't wait to see what happens with the future, and maybe I might be able to get back on my regular scheduled program. We'll see. It's just, here's another thing too. I ain't trying to say nothing crazy, but out in Oklahoma City, it'd be so dang windy for no reason. Like, who blowing that? Like, y'all got the wind turbines on out there or something? Because, like, I feel like every day my face got wind burn. And I feel like I got, like, a half a shade darker out there. I don't know. Sometimes you just got to rock the pale face rider face. Sometimes that's just what's got to be. But out there, man, that wind be killing. Oh, and also there's, like, not really that, like, a lot amount of trees. Like, they got to plant the trees out there. Anyways. But, guys, welcome to my rant session about why Tulsa is better than Oklahoma City. You guys have, when you guys hear this and you're like, you know what, let me go ahead and give a reason. Pop those reasons down in the comments. And if you're on Spotify and you listen to it on Spotify, I'm going to have a little question down there, and it's going to say, give me your reason why Tulsa is better than Oklahoma City. The only thing better that Oklahoma City has is the Thunder. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 1,000%. And no, they don't. Yeah, that's it. That's all they got. But I'm glad to be back on the home turf. I was on the visiting team there for a while, but we'll see how it goes. But over the course of 2024, you guys have seen on the internet how kind of wild it is out here. We got different beefs going on. We got O.J. Simpson passed. We got, Taylor Swift dropped her new album. She's still in a relationship with Travis Kelce. We'll see how long that lasts. I don't know. It was looking kind of dicey when she dropped the album. I started hearing some old stuff, and I said, oh no, there's turmoil. We got playoff basketball going on right now. The presidential election's coming up in 2024. We only in May. Like, it's about to get more wild. I don't know if y'all seen on TikTok. If you type in couple under the blanket in New York, you're going to see one of the wildest videos I may have ever seen in a public setting with kids around. If you hadn't seen the video, pause this, get on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you gotta go, and type in New York City couple under the blanket. Ain't nothing that pressing, y'all. Ain't nothing that pressing to be having to have, relations under a blanket with a bunch of kids running around. That's crazy. But we ain't even halfway through the year and we already getting that nonsense. We are getting some crazy stuff. Ryan Garcia, boxer, I guess it's breaking news, tested positive for all types of stuff. He beat Devin Haney here, I guess, in the last couple of weeks. And, if you guys are in the conspiracy kind of, spot, he's been kind of revealing some things and, calling out Devin Haney for hanging out with Diddy. No Diddy, but hanging out with Diddy, having the real party, whatever that means. Or what's Diddy say? Take that. Yeah, that's crazy. See, that's crazy. Now that we look back on that. But he beat him, and now he tested positive. And guess what? He don't even care. WWE is rocking, y'all. If y'all follow me on Twitter, that's WWE. I'm a WWE guy through and through. I've seen some people on Twitter be like, if you still like WWE, you need to grow up. Well, you know what? There's a guy, if you go look up on the internet, this is all on the internet. It's still real to me, damn it. It's still real to me. Go look that video up. Man, my guy was in tears. But like I said, guys, 2024 is like, it's on one. Now, my conspiracy mind tells me, and you guys I like to deep dive. I think it's because if you guys I can't remember the name of this book, but this book, and I'm gonna have to preface this, in a later episode. But there's these eras or type of decades. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's these eras in time that are called the turning. And right now, according to this prediction in this book, we are in the final turning. And 2024 is the year that starts the decay of our, I guess you'd say, civilization or humanity, but we are reaching the point of decline, according to this book. And some of y'all gonna ask me what's the name of this book, and I'm gonna tell you, I cannot remember. I had it off the top of my head, I forgot. So what's happening is you guys are seeing all over the place, our financial situation is a wreck. I just bought a home that back before COVID was worth like half the price it is now. You look at our politics, and if you frequent those circles of conspiracy, and I hate using the word conspiracy, even though everybody uses it. I really don't like the word. I use it just because it's easier to communicate to people. But there's all these people in these truther and CIA realms that are saying things. I just found out, like, what was it, like 2 days ago, that we are still sending money to the Taliban. Like, that's kind of wild to me. So our politics are kind of messed up. We kind of getting away from worrying about ourselves first and then people second. We can help when we can help, but I remember back when gas was like 75 cents, and my parents would drive me from all the way in Tahlequah to 4 Mile store in Fort Gibson just to go to a friend's house. Because we had it like that. No, I'm just kidding. But gas was so cheap that you could, you just got to put in $2 and there you are. I'm looking at milk prices at Sam's, and I'm out here like trying to, do y'all ever do this thing? I'm sure y'all do. But I do this thing where I'll get on Walmart, I'll get on Aldi's, I'll get on Sam's, and I'll get on all these Dollar General, and I look to see what the milk prices are. I'll be like, all right, I'm getting milk there. And y'all have to like shop at different places because, Aldi's has cheaper meat, or Sam's has more bulk, or Walmart, has 99-cent noodles. Like, And speaking of noodles, I just found out, because I've been buying noodles in bulk for like forever, but a single pouch of ramen noodles is like $1 now. It was like 15 cents. I don't know if that was in Oklahoma City. I don't know. Tulsa, I ain't done a lot of shopping here in Tulsa, but I saw it was like $1, 95 cents plus tax, or 85 cents plus tax. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, what? Then they're like 15 cents? I don't know, man, but it's crazy out here, y'all. We got, our music is dying. It's going to streaming. We're only listening to certain artists. Taylor Swift, as I mentioned before, dropped her album immediately. Shot to #1 for like a day, and then Kendrick Lamar, his diss record to Drake, it then overtook. Another crazy thing that's happening in 2024 is we got Beyonce put out a country album. If I hear that Texas Hold'em song one more time, I might have to ban it from my phone or something. I'm gonna have to go down. I'm about to go down with the ship on that one, because that song is annoying, and because this is the only same first part. It was if this ain't Texas, no, turn it off. So if you have a TikTok account and you put that on your stinking, like if you're making, one thing they do on that song is like someone who will be doing yard work. I'm trying to learn how to landscape my yard, and I got to hear Texas Hold'em in the background. Come on now. Maybe I want to learn, how to reverse sear a steak, and I got to listen to Texas Hold'em. Now, I guess I could change the settings, but that's just, maybe I want to hear something, Maybe I want to hear something else. Or that song by that Daisha chick, Austin. I don't know the words to it, but that song's been going crazy too. But like you said, the music ain't what it is. I had a conversation with Kevin Nez from the Mac Nez podcast and the East Society podcast. If you ain't checked that out, me and him talked a lot of pop culture stuff, and kind of how, movies are not what they used to be. Music ain't what it used to be. And he kind of talks about the different, bands that he's seen back in his younger days, which I thought was kind of cool, to hear that he saw Metallica before Metallica was Metallica, which is cool. But, music ain't the same. And I always look back to that book. It talks about that fourth turning, that last chapter in the final decline in the country. And, y'all can say, there's a group of set. I'm not going to get into a lot of politics, but so you got a certain set of group that's like, you know what? Make America great again. And I'm like, okay, how was it in the 50s? Wasn't that great? I mean, for my, people like that got my complexion or, darker complexion, it wasn't that great. Wasn't that cozy. Then you go to the other side, they say there are things like diversity and inclusion, and which is all well and good, but you take that stuff to a point where now, maybe, things ain't looking the way they was looking, how you want them to look. I don't know. It ain't my opinion. I don't really have an opinion about either one of them, but I just find it very interesting that when you start separating groups of individuals out, it just looks, it's kind of weird. It's a weird look, I'll say. I'm neither here or there, but I'll have that podcast, that episode, when we get close to the election. I hadn't voted in, 8 years, because I look at both of them, and in my mind, I don't see two candidates. I see I see the bird. Because every time I hear people say, "Oh, we got to vote for the lesser of, the lesser of two evils," or I hear people say, "Oh, well, what, each one is, one wing, and the other side is another wing. It's the wing, two wings of the same bird," is the phrase. And I'm thinking, like, y'all say that, but still vote for the lesser of two evils, in your opinion. I got a lot of flack from my mom and my family. They were like, "You're not voting?" I said, "No, I ain't voting. I ain't voting for nobody." Because I start looking at different things that they want to do. I ain't really what I represent. You don't represent me, so I ain't gonna put it out there. I saw something on Facebook, and I told you I wasn't getting into politics, but here I am. I'm just rocking. I'm cooking. Let me cook. Let me get that grease going. Put a little butter. Do some things. Get that fire going. But I saw something that kind of made me feel icky, in my people, speaking for me specifically. I saw Cherokee Nation giving out donations, about $30 million in campaign and political donations. It was approved by the Cherokee Nation Council. I find that interesting. $30 million, what could that do for, somebody who maybe needs a light bill paid because it ain't been paid in a minute? I don't know. I think of things like, I don't know, maybe giving out food cards or something. They do that. They do the stipends, and I know that those things are done. And there's probably going to be an old head say, well, the tribe can only do, we got to put people in government that fight for our needs. Okay. We're a sovereign government though. We're only beholden to the federal government. I don't know. But I saw that and I said, man, that hits me in a different spot. I think of the, I like that I was talking to somebody, and I'll give the Cherokee Nation some props on this. They went out to Kenwood and built a community center for everybody. And I got respect for that. Those people need those things, I ain't gonna say there ain't much in Kenwood, but there's not a lot in Kenwood besides a school and maybe a store or two. But they need those things, and that's what that 30 million. Okay, you took that 30 million to do whatever you're gonna do with some people that may not vote your way anyways, or they may just type on the Twitter fingers, or the Facebook post and say I stand with the Cherokee Nation and the 5 civilized tribes, which is so kind of interesting myself when I hear 5 civilized tribes. But, I just find it very, very interesting to me that that's the way that money decided to go. And and for the council members, I think I see this all the time in this stage, in these political talkings, and they always say, well, I hate this person. I'm like, well, you must hate all their constituents because that's who put them there. Just a thought. Talk to the people around you, not the person that's talking for them, But yeah, good to be back. I'm a little spicy today. I'm feeling a little spicy on this. I want to say some things because I see things and I really don't comment on them publicly. And sometimes, like I said, being busy and I just see things off the top. And I say this saying. I've said this saying in it before, but it's like we in the same league, but we don't ball the same. And that's sometimes how it works out. But, the podcast, like I said, I'm trying to be a little bit better, on the schedule. And like I said, being busy and, and trying to get everything acclimated, with my girls and everybody. And so I just want to continue to say that I appreciate everyone who has reached out and said, very kind words about, the podcast. And, it's 2023 for me and the first part of 2024 has just not been that great. I think a lot of it too is, I start getting antsy when I'm missing out on things. And I see things all out through Indian country and my family. And, I had kind of a little irritation, I'll say, when I was unable to go to Cherokee Nation Holiday. And for those of you who know Cherokee Nation Holiday, it's a lot of fun. Every year, I don't know if I think they did it this year, but every year they do a 3-on-3. And I had played in that 3-on-3 for since I was 18 years old in the 3-on-3, and I hadn't got to play in a couple years because it's just life really. And plus, man, I blew my I don't know if it was my Achilles or what it was, but I ain't been the same since. So I try to outsmart these young kids when I play, but I just haven't been the same. My foot, all types of stuff. But I miss going to those things. I remember. A story or time when I was in college, early college, and I sat out at the powwow out there at the holiday, and I hung out with my uncle, just talking. He was helping. He works with veterans in Native communities, and I'd sat out there, kind of was just soaking it all in, and in those moments, I forget as I get older. I often just forget about those moments of just sitting there and seeing those dancers out there, and and just being a part of those festivities with the 3-on-3 and different things like that. I remember as a kid, we go to the Strawberry Festival in Stillwell. Shout out Stillwell. They had those horseshoes out there, man. Them things be clanging. I never seen, okay, so I never took horseshoes that serious. I was just messing around as a little kid. And as I got older, I didn't realize that there's actual horseshoe clubs. They have a club with horseshoes. No, this ain't Tahlequah, but different places that I've seen. I didn't know they took it that serious, I didn't know y'all was putting bread down on like that, but yeah, no, I just remember those days, and that's kind of my goal, for 2024 and 2025 is just kind of try to get my ducks in a row and just try to get back to what I love doing. And I miss I always put in my bio I'm a retired hooper, and I am retired. I've had people try to get me out of retirement because they know I still got that shot on me. I still got that thing, the strap. I still let it go, but it's just things are just haven't lined up. But but I'm glad to be I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be back in the 918 really. But let me know what y'all think, man. I'm with the debate between OKC and Tulsa. Let me know what you think. Also, too, let me know, some things coming up. Because I actually have people send me, different powwow flyers. And dang, okay, hold on a second before I even go there. Will someone explain to me what's going on with the Gathering of the Nations? Will someone tell me what's going on with that? I need someone to tell me, because I keep seeing that the dude was non-native and he was putting this on and he was taking money. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I didn't know. I was like, I keep seeing these pictures of this dude with the crazy afro and the green eyes. And I was like, man, what's going on with that? And I ain't looked too much into it, but it sounded like it's a mess and a half. And I was like, man, well, never mind. Don't tell me about it. I don't need none of that. I don't need none of that mess. I just saw it. I was like, what's going on, man? Gathering the Nations. That's been a thing forever, it feels like. But yeah, man, it's I'm kind of shooting off the hip today. I had nothing really prepared or anything planned. I'm just kind of talking. But it's funny about this podcast. I always hear people say, "Oh yeah, I listen to your podcast." I'm like, "What? You're sitting there taking time out of your day to listen to my my Indian ass talking about some things that maybe it's truthful. I don't know. It's really up to perception, but it's just kind of crazy. But let me know, guys, what you think about, like I said, Tulsa, Oklahoma City. If you got a story and you want to share some stories, I've gotten a few of them. I'm trying to make This Is Creepy 6. It's coming out the week after 4th of July. I want to make sure that's that's keen. I want to make sure that's sharp. I want to make sure that's next level. I want some stories, and I've gotten some stories. I got a few angel stories that I'm going to share, an angel story that I'm going to share. There's a few ghost stories, and a few, I got a Bigfoot story. So there's different stories that can be told. But if you got one, message me on Facebook, Yahola Tiger. And if you add me as a friend on Facebook, please make sure you message me, because I don't really be accepting everybody's friend requests unless I see that they're friends with this person or I know them from this. But Instagram Warcry Pod, TikTok Warcry Pod. Let's see what else here. I think that's it. But like I said, I really appreciate you guys supporting the podcast, and I appreciate everybody enjoying it. I see the YouTube comments. Some of them can be pretty dicey. I don't know. Some of y'all with the Nephilim thing, man. And eventually we'll get to Nephilim. I have a hard time with that. The fallen angels. I just have a hard time wrapping my mind around that, because I'm not really like Christian religious. I'm more spiritual religious. Like, I believe that there's a higher power and a creator, but I don't know. Some of y'all be going all the way out here, genetically modified, and we'll get into that. There's going to be a new series coming up that's going to be called Craziest Conspiracy Theories. Now, I don't know if I want to use the word craziest, because crazy's crazy, but we'll figure something out. But like I said, I appreciate you guys continue to support the podcast. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube, and if you're on Spotify, hit that follow button, and I'll have something. I'll have a poll and something for you guys to give your opinion on about the debate I got going on today. But like I said, guys, every time before, I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one.